Yeah, Jacob, Rice is having to give away, we're hearing, the coronavirus vaccine because a freezer broke on that campus. Tell us more.
So the Harris County Public Health, we were told, their power went out and then their backup generator went out and they called around to give away vaccine. And Rice University is one of several locations that picked up 1,000 doses here, and then they sent out emails. And when we talked to students in line, and when they heard about it, they sprinted over here to get in line, and hundreds and hundreds of people are in line. They told us to get off campus, so that's why we're not in line. But we're going to try to zoom in to see if you can still see way back a quarter mile away, maybe further. The students are in line there at the East Gym, the Tudor Field Center. And then we have some photos and video that people posted on social media. And again, we've been over there talking to people before they told us to get out, but the students are just so excited that they could come and stand in line for the chance to get a vaccine far earlier than they ever would have, because some of the students tell us they want to be able to go home and see their grandparents, and they haven't seen them for a long time. Or, you know, there are many other things that they want to do. Some students said they don't think they necessarily deserve these vaccines right now. They know they're getting them out of order. But they had to be administered by today at 5 o'clock. And so the school said people on campus, faculty, students, were eligible to come. They didn't want anybody to travel here. They didn't want anybody to come from off campus. And it was a first come, first served basis. You didn't have to be in a 1A, a 1B, a 1C, or any other category. You just had to show up. And there were easily more than 1,000 people here. So at some point, they'll probably have to cut them off if indeed they did have 1,000. But that is the latest here. We got some interviews over there, and we'll put those together and be able to show this to you later. But they just told us to leave, and so we did. But they're giving these vaccines inside the East Gym right now, as fast as they can on a first come, first served basis. Guys, back to you.
So Jacob, while you're still with us, this was something because of, was it the city or was it Harris County had an issue?
Harris County Public Health, we're told by a spokesperson with the judge's office. The power went out this morning, I guess at 1 a.m., something like that, and then a generator failed, and they needed to get rid of some vaccine that had to be administered by today, I guess because of those, because the power went out. You know, the Moderna vaccine, this is the Moderna vaccine. It doesn't have to be kept on dry ice or anything, but it does have to be kept at a certain temperature, first in a freezer and then in a refrigerator. We don't know, that I know of, whether this vaccine was in the freezer or the fridge, or, you know, why exactly it had to be given out by today at 5. All the vaccines do have a, best used by date, if you will, where they're supposed to be used by a certain day, but also if they become unthawed, they need to be used. So it's not clear to us, I think, right now, whether it was in the freezer or the fridge, but for some reason they had to get rid of it. And Rice is one of others that Harris County reached out to see if they could administer those, because they knew that Rice had people to give those out to. Right. Of course, because there are a bunch of students and faculty on campus. Chris?
I think, if memory serves me correctly, I think those students and staff members were just brought back on campus within probably the last few days. I think it was mid-February that they were actually, that the students were allowed to finally come back. You did mention that Rice is one of many. Do we know where else these vaccines went and who may potentially be getting those today?
Just before we went on, I looked at an email, in fact, from our news desk with a statement, and I believe that Ben Taub is one of the other ones. And now I'm not remembering what the other three were. And if I didn't have these gloves on, I'd be able to just pull out my phone and scroll through. But we do have the list. We do know, I believe.
Okay.
I'm just curious, do we know if they got 1,000 people there lined up to take the shots that they have available there at Rice?
That's right. So one of the students that we interviewed said that at one point somebody was going along counting how many people there were, and he counted him as number 950. And as I looked beyond him, there were easily hundreds more people. So it appeared that there are more than 1,000 people. And those we talked to said that they sprinted here from lunch, from class, from wherever they were. And a lot of people had the same idea. One person we talked to said she had been waiting in line for more than 2 hours. Of course, they're all freezing, but they said it was worth it. Some of them, they didn't have real coats. You know, it was a little bit sad, but they said this was worth it. I will also mention that there's a group out here that was going to do a hot chocolate event tonight, and they instead decided to come out here and just give away all the hot chocolate and snacks to people in line. And that was, they were very thankful for that, for the hot water, hot chocolate, other hot drinks. It's just, you know, all came together so fast. Really remarkable, actually, to see.
You know, the question I would have, I guess, is if I'm getting this shot kind of out of rotation, and what I mean by that, if I'm not in the kind of phase 1A and 1B, and I get this first shot today, you're supposed to get the next one in, you know, 25 days or whatever it is. Are they concerned at all what happens 25 days from now? Because they're still technically not in order, if you know what I mean. And we have reported that you don't have to have it right on the, you know, right on that 25th, 26th, 27th day. But it does bring up the issue that there has to be some kind of recording mechanism in place to make this happen moving forward.
Right, and the students that we talked to who had already gotten the vaccine, and we asked them if they had a scheduled appointment, and they said no. You know, because some, like Harris County, will schedule you immediately when you get the first one. They'll immediately schedule the second one. And they said that they shouldn't worry about it, that they were told they shouldn't worry about it, that they will figure it out, that they're taking down their names, their student IDs, all of that, and they'll be able to get them their second appointment, but they did not make those here today. Right. So said they were told they would be able to get that second appointment.
Right. And again,
the correct time frame.
To be fair, health officials have said that if you get that first one, you know, it may not be right at that cutoff date when we want you to have the next one, but we will eventually get two. I just don't know how it works in a situation like this where you have, you know, some type of power failure where you have to kind of rush these shots out and start kind of handing them out. So again, it's something to just, you know, be mindful of, Jacob, while you're out there and doing your reporting. And I know you'll ask those questions for sure.
All right, Jacob, thank you.